Bear with me, please. My father was my hero. And I know he was a hero to many, including many of you out here. You know, as a child, everybody looked at him as a rock star. For me, he was so much more. He's my leader. He's my protector. He's my role model. He's my sacrifice. He taught me how to compete. He taught me how to run a boat. He just taught me the love of life. If I'm being honest, he was also an intimidator too. You don't want to cross George, you don't want to cross Dad. It was all about school, respect. It's something that stuck with me all my life. As I continued to grow in my life, I really wanted a sister. And my dad and my mom came together and brought me a beautiful young sister right there. Through their growth, I saw how to really love a woman. The way he treated my mother and sister, my grandma, his sisters. The 4 G's was born. As I got older, I went to college. And I wasn't the greatest student my first year. My pops picked me up, took me a ride from Pittsburgh, and we had a real conversation. We talked about everything we'd been through as a youth, both he and I, and it really changed the game between father and son to more father-friend. And yet, I still had a lot of growing to do. He owned a house, 5719, shout out to my guys in the back, where he managed, and he really let me manage the house, and we terrorized the place. We terrorized Columbia, we terrorized neighbors. And my father, he stuck with us. He stuck with me all through. And all through that, my sister, my mother, my father were always 4 G's. We traveled, we did everything together. The love was strong. Everybody that's out here knows how tight we were. As I got into my 30s, I met a young woman named Hannah at the Subway restaurant in Columbia. It was love at first sight. I came home telling my mom, my dad, all about her. My first date with her was actually my little cousin Jan J, where I'm not sure where he's at, but shout out to Jan J, his drum recital. And you know, it was a little weird to take her to my family's gathering off the break, but she was special. I knew she was. My father and my sister were there, but they just briefly met. Not too long after that, you know, of course, me and Hannah stayed in touch always. Talked every day. And it was my birthday coming up. And we had planned for her to meet officially my mother and father and sister. My dad walked through, happened to go to a Harris Teeter, and he was walking through. And as he was walking, he saw this young woman in a beautiful white dress, black hair flowing, walking towards him. She's walking and thinking, I've seen that man before. He's like, she looks familiar too. When they got close, all of a sudden it was, Mr. Phillips? Hannah? My dad calls me immediately and said, God sent you an angel. From then on, he treated my then girlfriend as a daughter already. Not too long after that, my father got sick. It was a trying time for my family. However, he vowed that he would be there for my wedding. He went through it all. Congestive heart failure, all the different ailments you can imagine that my father went through. Back surgery, his outlook was bleak. But he looked at me and said, son, as always, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. A week before our wedding, he was there with his pimp cane and everything. He means so much to me. Not soon after that, he was back in the hospital. Again, trying time. My father's a fighter, fighting. Family coming through to support. Phillips family strong. Finney family, Uncle Carlisa, Uncle Mark, Marquisa, Carmira, Uncle Gas, all you all. My Uncle Orlando would come in all the time. He would stay overnight with my father. Not soon after that, Hannah was pregnant. And Dad vowed he would come out again and make it to meet Grace Noel Phillips. And you know what? He did. He made it, and not only did he make it, he developed a bond that would never be broken. That's her papa. Not soon after that, as you all know, my father was sick. He was back in the hospital. We're going back again. Family support, everybody. I want to make sure I call out my cousin Don too. All you all, just think about Don. He's my brother. And Pops treated him like a son. See, my father's house was not only for me, but it was a safe haven for my friends and my close ones. My dad made it to see his namesake, George McKenzie Phillips IV. I'm telling you all this to say, my dad taught me power, strength, perseverance, the will to love. That's my man. Amen. And I miss you, Dad. Mom, I love you. Thank you for all the years. Dad is still with us. I'm not letting him go. We're not letting him go. Everybody in this room has respect, has our love, has our back. I miss you, Dad. I'm glad G will come up and do a prayer with me. Thank you.